Hello everyone, this video is part 2 of chapter 3, separation of substances. In the previous video, part 1, we studied various methods for separation of components from solid-solid mixture. Today, we will study various methods for separation of components from solid-liquid mixtures. First, let us understand some important terms related to these separation methods. First is solubility. The property of a substance to dissolve in a given liquid is called solubility of that substance. All substances do not dissolve in water. The substances that dissolve completely in water are said to be soluble in water. For example, sugar dissolves in water, so sugar is soluble in water. The substances that do not dissolve in water are said to be insoluble in water. For example, sand. Sand does not dissolve in water, so sand is insoluble in water. Now we will study methods of separation for separating solid-liquid mixtures. These methods have been categorized into two parts: methods for separating insoluble solid-liquid mixtures and methods for separating soluble solid-liquid mixtures. First, we will see the methods for separating the components of insoluble solid-liquid mixtures. Insoluble solid-liquid mixtures means the mixture in which solid component does not dissolve in liquid. For example, mixture of sand and water. In this mixture, sand is solid component and does not dissolve in water. So this is insoluble solid-liquid mixture. And the methods used for separating the components of insoluble solid-liquid mixtures are sedimentation, decantation and filtration. Now we will see the methods for separating the components of soluble solid-liquid mixtures. Soluble solid-liquid mixture means the mixture in which solid component dissolves in liquid. For example, mixture of salt and water. In this mixture, salt is solid component and dissolves in water. So this is example of soluble solid-liquid mixture. And the methods that are used for separating the components of soluble solid-liquid mixtures are evaporation and condensation. Now we will study all these methods in detail one by one. First is sedimentation and decantation. Sedimentation is the process of separating insoluble solid components mixed in liquid by allowing them to settle down at the bottom of container. And this method of separation is based on difference in the weights of components of solid-liquid mixture. What do we do in this method? Let's see. In this method, the mixture is kept undisturbed for some time so that heavier insoluble solid components settle down at the bottom of container containing the mixture. And the solid component that settles down during sedimentation is called sediment. Layer of the clear liquid is seen above the sediment. Sedimentation is followed by decantation. That means after sedimentation, decantation is done. The process of pouring out the layer of clear liquid without disturbing the sediment is called decantation. For example, sedimentation and decantation methods are used at home while washing rice or pulses. You might have seen that when we add water to pulses, lighter impurities like dust and solid particles go in water and makes water muddy. Pulses, being the heavier components, settle at the bottom of the vessel. And this process of settling down of the pulses at the bottom of vessel is called sedimentation. And the water along with the impurities is removed. This process of removing water along with the impurities is decantation. Let us understand sedimentation and decantation more clearly with the help of an activity. In this activity, we will see how to separate mixture of sand and water using sedimentation and decantation. We know that sand does not dissolve in water. Sand is insoluble in water. Let us see how to separate mixture of sand and water using sedimentation and decantation method. First of all, take one beaker and fill it half with water. Add a little sand to it. Use the glass rod to mix the contents. After that, keep the beaker undisturbed for some time. You will notice that the sand particles settle down at the bottom of beaker. And why does this happen? This happens because the sand particles are heavier than water. This process of settling down of sand particles at the bottom of beaker is sedimentation. A clear layer of water will be seen above the settled sand. Now, without disturbing the sediment of sand, gently pour out the top layer of water into another beaker. And this process of gently pouring out the top layer of water into another beaker is decantation. After decantation, the first beaker will be left with the sediment of sand. This is sediment of sand. And now sand and water are separated from the mixture of sand and water. I hope now sedimentation and decantation process is clear. Now let's move on to another method. Next method is filtration. The process of separating fine insoluble solid components mixed in liquid by using a porous medium called filter is filtration. That means filtration method is used to separate insoluble solid components from solid liquid mixture by using filter. This figure shows the process of filtration. Very important to note here that the pores of the filter should be smaller than the size of the components that have to be separated. That means pores of the filter should be smaller than the size of components that we want to separate. Substances that can be filtered are dust particles, sediments, insoluble particles, etc. Let us understand filtration more clearly with the help of some examples. You might have seen fruits and vegetable juices are usually filtered before drinking to separate the seeds and the solid particles of pulp. And the second example is the method of filtration is also used in the process of preparing cottage cheese in our homes. For making paneer, a few drops of lemon juice are added to milk as it boils. And this gives a mixture of particles of solid paneer and a liquid. Then paneer is separated by filtering the mixture through a fine cloth or a strainer. That means this mixture of solid paneer and liquid is filtered through a fine cloth or a strainer to separate paneer and liquid. With this, filtration method is complete. Next method is evaporation. What is evaporation? The process of conversion of water into its vapor is called evaporation. And the process of evaporation takes place continuously wherever water is present. This method is used to separate soluble solids from a solid liquid mixture. Note here that earlier methods that we have discussed, sedimentation, decantation and filtration, they are used to separate insoluble solid components from solid liquid mixture. But evaporation is used to separate soluble solids from a solid liquid mixture. What is done in this method? Let's see. In this method, the liquid component is allowed to evaporate from the mixture, leaving behind only the solid component. Do you know from where we get salt? Evaporation is used to obtain common salt for seawater. And why evaporation is used to obtain salt from seawater? Because seawater contains large amount of salt dissolved in it. One of these salts is common salt. To separate soluble solids from solid liquid mixture, evaporation is used. Now let us see how evaporation method separates salt from seawater. When seawater is allowed to stand in shallow pits, water gets heated by sunlight and slowly turns into water vapor through evaporation. These are the shallow pits. So in a few days, the water evaporates completely, leaving behind the solid salts. Then the salt is collected and sent for purification. And this purified salt is used for various purposes. I hope now evaporation method is clear. Now let us see what is condensation. The process of conversion of water vapors into its liquid state is condensation. The process of condensation is opposite of evaporation. For example, you might have seen that tiny water droplets called dew on the leaves of plants and on the mirrors of the vehicles. These water droplets called dew are formed due to condensation process. Whenever water vapors present in air comes in contact with the relatively cold surface of any object, then water vapors cools down to form dew. So, condensation is the process in which water vapors changes back to its liquid state. I hope now condensation is clear. Now we will study some important terms related to solution. A solution is prepared by dissolving a substance in a liquid. For example, when we add sugar to water and mix it, sugar in the water disappears after some time. This happens because sugar dissolves in water to form a sugar solution. Now let us understand what is solute and solvent. The substance that dissolves is called solute and the substance in which the solute dissolves is the solvent. The solute dissolves in the solvent to form a solution. For example, sugar is dissolved in water to make sugar solution. So, sugar is solute and water is solvent in case of sugar solution. Now we will see what is saturated solution. A solution in which no more solute can be dissolved in the solvent is called a saturated solution. Let us understand saturated solution with the help of an activity. Take 50 ml of water in a clean glass beaker. Add 1 teaspoonful of sugar and stir it well until the sugar dissolves completely. Add 1 more teaspoonful of sugar and stir well. Keep on adding more sugar 1 teaspoonful at a time and stir each time. After adding a few teaspoonfuls of sugar, you will notice that in spite of stirring, some sugar particles are left undissolved at the bottom of beaker. This indicates that no more sugar can be dissolved in amount of water taken. Hence, this solution is saturated solution. Now, the question is how to increase the solubility of a solute in a solvent. It can be done by following ways. First is by increasing the amount of the solvent. That means if we increase the amount of solvent, then more solute can be dissolved in solvent. And second is by increasing the temperature of the solvent. That means by heating the solvent, we can dissolve more solute in the solvent. It is very important to note here that the amount of solute dissolved in same amount of water is different for different substances. That means different amounts of different substances dissolve in same volume of water. And why does this happen? This happens due to difference in the properties of different substances. With this, chapter 3 is complete. If you have liked the video, hit like button, comment on the video to give your feedback and subscribe the channel to get notifications about the latest videos. Thank you.